This could be a corner of Tibet. It's not. Many Buddhist monks have never seen their homeland. Those who have are refugees here in South India. They fled Tibet after the suppression of a revolt against Chinese occupation forces in 1959. The monastery, Sera is named after a former Buddhist retreat in Tibet. It was built thanks to the man who owned this palace. The Maharaja of Mysore gave land when India granted asylum to thousands of Tibetans. The Tibetan monastery was much bigger than its Indian counterpart, but numbers are growing here as the faith expands westward and disciples of Buddha enter Sera from a very young age. The education they receive follows strict rules. Learning by rote is seen as the way to the attainment of self-discipline. The boys will spend most of their lives studying before becoming teachers themselves. With funds from sympathizers worldwide, the monastery has established itself as a respected seat of learning. Along with Dharmasala, home to the Dalai Lama, spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism, Sera is one of the greatest centers of the faith. Traditional carpet making provides an income for the monks and for the larger community which has established itself around the monastery. It too was built on untilled land donated by the Maharaja. Sera recently welcomed its latest recruit. Lama Osel is a Spanish-born 6-year-old. He's one of only 300 lamas in the whole world and perhaps the youngest. When he was 2, the Dalai Lama recognized him as the reincarnation of Lama Tugten Yeshe, a Tibetan-born scholar known for teaching Buddhist principles to Westerners. The boy knew he was Lama Yeshe's reincarnation. When asked how he knew, the answer was categorical.
I know.
Did Lama Osel, whose name means clear light, remember anything of his past life? Again, he did not hesitate, even though the question was not asked in his native Spanish.
Yes.
Can you say?
When they're burning me.
Lama Yeshe died at 49, a year before the boy's birth. He had witnessed the Chinese repression of Buddhists in Tibet and the destruction of the original Sera monastery. According to Buddhist belief, reincarnation is inevitable for everyone. Lama Yeshe predicted he would be reborn as the son of a Spanish woman named Maria Torres. Only a few can influence the conditions of their subsequent life. The woman's husband, a construction worker, had helped build Lama Yeshe's retreat in Rubion, Spain. On July the 15th, an auspicious date in the Tibetan Buddhists' calendar, visitors were arriving early at Sera. The occasion, Lama Osel's enthronement ceremony. Buddhism does not exclude women. There are Buddhist nuns, but few of them have ever attained the rank of Lama. These welcoming signs are symbols of Buddha's intellectual and spiritual enlightenment. The elaborate preparations for the ceremony were an indication of the boy's status, sanctioned by the Dalai Lama after he had undergone tests in the Buddhist tradition. Buddhists have a reputation for frugality, but this was celebration time, time to give and to receive, and guests were to partake of a traditional feast. The last call to a rare occasion, which was also a religious service dedicated to the bringing of long life to little Lama Osel. Light offerings made of clarified butter and the proceedings could now begin. If the prospective monk comes from a wealthy background, his family usually sponsors a ceremony on the day he officially enters the monastery. This is not the case here. The boy is the 5th of 7 children born to Maria and Paco Torres. He was tracked down as the reincarnation of Lama Yeshe, who did much to spread the faith in the West. As part of the ritual, Lama Osel offered and received symbols of Buddha's mind, body and speech, while a youthful Dalai Lama looked down from a portrait. And under the watchful gaze of older members of the order, money, the symbol of worldly goods, was handed out to all. Lama Yeshe's long-standing disciple, Lama Rinpoche, was honored with traditional gifts. The young Lama's debut was not without controversy. When he was 2, a story appeared in the Times of India newspaper in which an alleged spokesman of the Dalai Lama raised questions about the boy. The same day, a statement from the Dalai Lama's office repudiated the article and denied the existence of the spokesman. The boy's attention only flickered once on receiving this toy. After more ceremonial scarves were handed out, the world's littlest Lama could give the signal for the meal to start. The ceremony over, the feast could begin. The young Lama had taken everything in his stride. But what were his parents' thoughts on leaving their son behind, perhaps for a lifetime?
In reality, I am not losing my son, you know. The only thing is I am separating from him. But this is not losing. I am happy.
Ahead lay a life dedicated to study, then perhaps teaching, following the path mapped out by Lama Yeshe, the boy's former self. As a Westerner, he may help expand further the influence of Buddhism. In the meantime, he must steep himself in its age-long tradition at the beginning of the journey that will last a lifetime.